No, now I'm recording again. Okay. Might have to post this as two separate ones. Anyhow, Shayna started to become increasingly I don't even know how to put it. She had trouble walking. She was losing her appetite. She is older, and at 13 for a medium-sized dog, there's no way that we were going to put her through any kind of surgical procedures or medications to keep her alive longer and have her suffer or be traumatized by constant procedures, as we said, with the vet and so forth. So, there's an organization called Lap of Love, which is national here in the United States, and these are very sensitive, very loving vets that come to your home so that when it's time to say goodbye to your precious fur baby, they can be surrounded by their loved ones on their favorite bed, which Shayna was. They know all the familiar smells, the familiar voices, and with the exception of the vet coming in, who is a stranger, they're mostly comfortable. And the vet almost immediately gives her a sedative so that she becomes calm and relaxed. She curled up on her favorite bed, but it doesn't knock them out. So she was coherent and aware, and we're able to love on her and say our goodbyes as long as we want to, until the vet simply asks us when we're ready, which you're never ready, but you don't want to prolong the inevitable either. So my daughter and I looked at her and said, okay, let's do this. She administers the last injection, and then Shayna just very peacefully laid her head down, and it is like they go to sleep and they pass over to the other side. The vet takes her heartbeat and then just looked at us very gently and said, Shayna's at peace now. And that's when my daughter and I both lost it. But I would recommend that institution for anybody if you have the honor and the time. Make good on your obligation to your baby to help them over with love before they suffer. So that's certainly been one of the more grievous situations we've dealt with in the midst of all this other insanity. It's been 4 weeks since she's been gone, so we're still feeling a fair amount of grief over that, and she slept with me every single night for 13 years. So needless to say, I reach for her in the middle of the night like I used to do, give her a little scratch. And sometimes, whether it's my imagination or not, I feel like she's on the bed and moving around like she used to do. Stand up, walk in circles, scratch here and there, and then lay down. And I'm pretty sure I'm awake. I am sitting up, looking at the clock, looking at what time it is, whether it's 3:11 in the morning, and sensing that same motion on the bed that I'm not doing. I'm holding perfectly still. So whether this is her way of just letting me know that she's okay, or she's still worried about me, which I hope she's not, I just know that she's in a pain-free, loving place now. Oh, what else? Work's been okay. I'm still, if you saw my last couple of videos on the medication therapy that was required for me to get over what I had to withdraw from and taper off of, and that's going pretty well. As we keep tapering down, I have some days or some hours that are a little anxious. I'm looking at how really short my hair is right now. I'll like it better in a few weeks. Anyhow, it doesn't matter when you tell them leave it longer here or there. They just buzz cut you. So I guess I'll figure, if your hair grows back, you'll be happy eventually. But my family's good. As I mentioned, my daughter was here for Shayna's passage. She drove down from North Carolina and wanted to be here because this was her first dog, her baby. She got her when she was 12, and now my daughter's 25. So it was extremely important that she be here to say goodbye and to be one of the ones holding her when she passed over, and I'm very proud of her for doing that. My husband, on the other hand, was in the other room. He could not be present for any of it, but I understand that too. I've known many people who just cannot be there. It's much, much too painful. I, on the other hand, feel that it's my honor and privilege, and as I said, obligation to be with my baby and for her to hear our voices, smell our smells, and feel that familiar love and comfort on her way over. I have a theory about why women sometimes are stronger with this particular experience. It's no secret that we're all put together to make and deliver babies, which means that between men and women, we are the only ones who can actually carry life within our bodies and then bring it forth into the world. And my theory is that because we are able to do that, because that's what we're meant to do, or made to do, I won't say we're meant to do it, that on the opposite end, there's something in us that is meant or made to be there at the end of a life, especially when it's someone we love. So that's just my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Whew, okay, I haven't even been walking 10 minutes, but it is in the 80s here, so in my defense, it's very warm. But I'm not going to stop. I am going to turn around in a minute. I hope all of you are doing well. This has been the most tumultuous time. Since I spoke with you last, here in America, and I guess all over the world, there have been protests and riots. Certainly the world economy, I'm turning around now. Whee! Oh, I don't know where to hold this. Certainly the world economy has been decimated. The U.S. economy is in the toilet. I work in the stock market, which has no conscience, so those who do have money with me and need my help with their investments are okay financially, but like everyone else, there's fear and panic and not entirely certain what the next step is. I'm not here to give you financial advice, and I know a lot of you are in a very, very challenging position right now, either not having jobs, having lost your job, being furloughed, not knowing when you're going to be back on your job. So I do understand how painful that can be, not understanding or knowing when. Thank you. We're social distancing here. Not understanding when things will change for you in that respect. How you're going to pay for your home, your food, your car, all the stuff that goes along with it. And I know this is really easy to say, but somehow dig deep, whether you have faith or not in a higher power. Dig deep and find a way to trust what's happening and trust that it's going to be not just okay, but better. This is the biggest shift in our lives, in this lifetime and on our planet for all of us. And it can't be for naught. This is very meaningful. It has to stand for something. I have to catch my breath for a minute. And whatever that new normal is, quote unquote, it's going to be better. I don't want to go back to the way things were. The way things were led to this. So that just means, as they say, history is doomed to repeat itself. We have to learn from this. We have to be the ones who stay strong, stay in the eye of this storm, as challenging and difficult as it is not to get swept up into it by other people, by social media, by your friends, by your family. It's really, really important to stay in the eye as much as you can. If you get close to the edges, and you'll know what I'm talking about, find a way to pull yourself back into the center of the eye. Sometimes this means you're going to have to stop talking to someone for a while. Sometimes this means people you've known all your life are going to change, and not necessarily in a healthy way during all this, and try to pull you into their fear, their panic, their temporary insanity right now, because this is all temporary. So, with that in mind, do your very best. I am surrounded by levels of insanity, by certain people who truly believe that they've got their shit together. Kind of like I believe I do. I think I do, mostly. But they profess a lot, yet they overreact and completely lose their shit over insignificant, irrelevant things. Case in point, let's see. Not separating the teaspoons from the tablespoons. That does not require a fight. It requires a comment, maybe, a suggestion, or just do the frickin' switch over and leave it alone. Is it really worth mentioning to someone? Is it a life-changing event? Well, I guess if you're taking medication measured by a teaspoon versus a tablespoon, it could be freaking fatal. So, only under extreme circumstances do I think that dictates an argument. But this is what I'm talking about. Things that would ordinarily really not be a big deal are becoming huge for some people. The business about wearing masks. Okay, I'm not wearing a mask, clearly, because I'm outside, I'm alone. If I do see someone or they see me, we're social distancing. So I'm not worried right now, and I don't feel that I am posing a threat or a danger to anyone else. But in public places where it's mandatory to wear masks, I will wear my mask. I don't want to get into my opinions about it, whether I think it's the right or wrong thing to do, whether I think it's a conspiracy, whether I think it's a hoax. whether I think it's healthy or not. I'm going to do it more than anything to keep myself safe and to also make sure I keep those around me safe, whether I know them or not. So the fact that people are up in arms about their rights, to me, is another one of these moments of letting yourself get swept into the storm and out of control. It's really just not a big enough deal to hurt people over, to fight over, to feel that you've lost all your rights. I saw somebody post something the other day about wearing pants in public, and it's not mandatory, but you're more than likely not going to be allowed in a place if you're not wearing pants. Even if you have them pulled down beneath your underwear, you're still wearing pants, as the latest fashion would indicate. So, if you wear pants because you really do have to, why not a mask? What's the big deal? Anyway, like I said, I didn't want to go on about that. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you can tell, but I am sweating bullets here. Ugh. As far as my hormonal stuff, I haven't even talked about that yet. I'm still using progesterone and estrogen creams. I decided not to go back on conventional HRT. I feel mostly okay. Sometimes good. The good never really lasts for an extended period of time, but the okay does. And not to be completely... Thank you. You're welcome. See, more social distancing. Not to be negative or anything, or cliche, I'm okay with the okay. It's way better than where I was before. For a while, a long time, years of imbalance and anxiety and a list of symptoms much too long to get into right now because I don't have enough breath to even get started. But let's just say the anxiety was number one. The panic attacks were right there. And I'm currently very pleased with my new physician and the progress we're making. So I think I'll stick with my routine for the moment. If you feel so inclined to go onto the Lap of Love website, which is lapoflove.com, and light a virtual candle for our puppy, go to their website. I believe it's under the community tab for memorials and testimonials, and you can do a search by name, and her name was Shayna, Shayna Madel Allen, Shayna Madel Allen. Her first and middle name is Hebrew for a pretty girl. And you'll see it doesn't cost you anything if you go to the bottom of the memorial where you can click on to light a candle, and if you want to say a few words you can. But it really just makes me and my daughter feel really good. And we're not opposed to looking at her picture or her videos every day to remind us of the joy she brought us. And that's part of my staying in the eye of the storm. It's whenever your mind or things start to feel like they're going dark, try to switch it up to something light, something joyful, something happy, something rewarding. And let it reframe the moment, even if it's just a moment. Okay, I think I'm going to stop talking. Wrapping up my walk pretty soon.